SOE Ministry says Garuda Indonesia is technically bankrupt. Hello, good evening. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sectors. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions, such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. With me, Wicky Adrian. This is Market Headlines. In a working meeting with the House of Representatives, the Deputy Minister of SOE, Kartika Wirjoatmojo, stated that Garuda Indonesia was technically bankrupt. The reason is because Garuda Indonesia has not paid various financial obligations.
Deputy Minister of State-Owned Enterprises Kartika Wirjoatmojo say technically Garuda Indonesia is currently in a state of bankruptcy, but not yet legally bankrupt. Therefore, the government is currently trying to find a way out so that the state-owned airlines' finances can be healthy again.
Nah, sebenarnya kalau dalam kondisi seperti ini, kalau istilah perbankan sebenarnya sudah technically bankrupt, Pak. Sebenarnya technically, tapi legally belum. Nah, ini yang sekarang kita sedang berusaha bagaimana kita bisa keluar dari situasi yang sebenarnya secara technically bankrupt karena practically semua kewajiban Garuda sekarang sudah tidak dibayar. Bahkan gaji pun juga mungkin sudah sebagian ditahan. Jadi ini kita harus pahami bersama situasi Garuda sebenarnya secara technical sebenarnya sudah mengalami bankrupt karena practically semua kewajiban yang ditanya Garuda ini kinerjanya turun karena apa? Apakah karena korupsi, apakah karena COVID? Ya dua-duanya gitu kan. Bukan salah satu, memang dua-duanya terdampak secara signifikan di dua-duanya. Dua-duanya menjadi penyebab yang bersama-sama membuat kondisi Garuda saat ini tidak baik. Dan
Kartika explained that Garuda Indonesia's current financial condition has negative equity of 2.8 billion US dollar or around 40 trillion rupiah as of September 2021. This means that the company has more debt than its assets. Currently, Garuda Indonesia's liabilities or obligations reach 9.8 billion US dollars, while its assets are only 6.9 billion US dollars. IDX Channel reports.
Regarding the expensive aircraft rental fees, management of Garuda Indonesia is renegotiating the aircraft lease to the lessor that as a part of the company's restructuring efforts. Meanwhile, SOE Minister affirmed that the majority of Garuda Indonesia's liabilities come from debts to lessors.
The management of Garuda Indonesia provided information regarding the issue of expensive aircraft rental prices. VP Corporate Secretary and Investor Relations Garuda Indonesia Mitra Piranti explained that the company's aircraft rental prices basically follow the rental values in effect in the year the aircraft were acquired. This value also takes into account the lease term, year of manufacture, and aircraft configuration. He said that currently Garuda Indonesia is renegotiating the aircraft leased with the lessor as part of the company's restructuring efforts. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of State-Owned Enterprises Kartika Wirjoatmojo explained the majority of Garuda Indonesia's liabilities come from debts to lessors, whose values reach 6.35 billion US dollar.
Jadi memang utang ke lessor paling besar, 6,3 miliar, itu ada komponen yang jangka panjang, ada komponen tadi yang tidak terbayar dalam jangka pendek. Dan tentunya dengan kondisi ini mengalami ekuitas yang negatif. Dan memang ada satu lagi Bapak Ibu yang mungkin yang mempunyai background akunting, itu ada PSAK namanya PSAK 73 Bapak Ibu. PSAK 73 ini membuat, nah kami tidak putus asa Bapak Ibu sekalian, kami mencoba untuk mencari rumusan untuk bagaimana bisa keluar dari permasalahan ini. Dan memang yang paling utama, yang pertama dulu transformasi bisnis. Karena kita memahami bahwa Garuda di masa lalu banyak inefisiensi, baik dari sisi rute, dari sisi efisiensi operasional dan sebagainya.
However, Kartika confirmed the Ministry of SOEs is trying to solve the problem by conducting massive restructuring and business transformation of Garuda Indonesia. IDX Channel reports.
Regarding the polemic over the Garuda Indonesia's high cost of leasing, the special staff for the Minister of SOE, Arya Sinulinga, said that aircraft leasing had been problematic for a long time, which caused the state-owned airline's financial condition to be problematic. Therefore, he encourages former commissioners and directors to be examined so that the situation is clear. Previously, the former commissioner of Garuda Indonesia, Peter Gonta, spoke about the high costs of renting Garuda Indonesia planes, but Arya said that Peter had also signed the agreement for leasing several Garuda Indonesia planes. Therefore, according to him, it will be right for Peter to take part in the investigation regarding the aircraft rental polemic so as to speed up the resolution of the problem. And moving on to global updates, China's biggest listed tech companies are expected to report a fall in profits and slowing revenue growth. Meanwhile, Rolls-Royce has been hacked by a consortium of private investors and the UAE government to develop small nuclear reactors. More stories on today's International Minute.
A young German climate activist and the heads of Greenpeace Germany have sued Volkswagen in a German court for fueling the climate crisis, accusing the car maker of failing to do its part to combat global warming. The claimants, Clara Mayer and the NGO, gave the German car maker 8 weeks to consider their demands before filing the lawsuit on Tuesday at the Regional Court of Braunschweig. China's biggest listed companies, Tencent and Alibaba, are expected to report a fall in profits and slowing revenue growth in the July-September quarter, hurt by the year-long regulatory crackdown that has upended its technology industry. Beijing has reasserted control over its once freewheeling internet sector, punishing well-known names for engaging in what were previously considered regular market practices and drafting new rules to change how they compete and engage users. Rolls-Royce has been backed by a consortium of private investors and the UK government to develop small nuclear reactors to generate cleaner energy. The creation of the Rolls-Royce small modular reactor business was announced following a £195 million cash injection from private firms and a £210 million grant from the government. It is hoped that the new company could create up to 40,000 jobs by 2050. However, critics say the focus should be on renewable power, not new nuclear. Prices continue to climb in the United States, with October marking another record for wholesale inflation in the world's largest economy. The Producer Price Index, which measures the price businesses fetch for the goods and services they sell, increased 8.6% in October from the same period a year ago, the U.S. Department of Labor said on Tuesday. IDX Channel reports.
Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Kini aplikasi mClears hadir di handphone Anda untuk memudahkan transaksi Anda. Informasi aktivitas clearing dan penjaminan tidak lagi hanya dapat diakses melalui komputer di kantor Anda, melainkan dapat diakses di mana saja dan kapan saja dalam genggaman Anda. Fitur-fitur mClears. Equity clearing dan settlement adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi kewajiban settlement anggota clearing hingga nilai alternate case settlement serta informasi gagal bayar. Risk management adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, kolateral, MKBD, portofolio harian, discharge anggota clearing dan kombinasi, serta nilai minimum cash collateral. Derivatif adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, margin call, dan informasi clearing derivatif. Terkait pinjam-meminjam efek, terdapat fitur mengenai borrowing information dan lendable pool information, serta lending revenue dan borrowing fee. Serta menu lain yang menampilkan informasi mengenai haircut, discharge saham, dan nilai harga penyelesaian harian dan harga penyelesaian final. Selain itu, Anda juga dapat mengakses fitur pengumuman, peraturan, dan informasi layanan KPEI pada aplikasi mClears. Download aplikasi mClears di App Store atau Google Play Store. Lakukan registrasi user Anda dengan menggunakan alamat email berdomain resmi yang sesuai dengan anggota clearing Anda. Setelah registrasi, Anda akan diberikan kode OTP di email Anda untuk verifikasi, dan aplikasi mClears Anda siap untuk digunakan. Anda dapat mengakses seluruh menu pada aplikasi mClears dengan melakukan aktivasi berlangganan premium yang dapat dilakukan dengan memilih menu Get Premium. Download aplikasinya sekarang, lakukan registrasi, dan dapatkan kemudahan dalam genggaman tangan Anda. Kemudahan informasi KPEI dalam genggaman Anda.
Welcome back. The Minister of Finance injected funds from the over-budget balance of 6.9 trillion rupiah to Kereta Api Indonesia. Some of the funds amounting to 4.3 trillion rupiah will be used to finance the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed train project.
The government continues to reallocate the National Economic Recovery Budget, one of which is for additional capital to state-owned enterprises or other state institutions, including the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail project. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani explained that in addition to collecting funds for the National Economic Recovery, the government also used 20.1 trillion rupiah of excess budget funds to inject state capital participations into Hutama Karya and Kereta Api Indonesia. Kereta Api Indonesia received an injection of funds amounting to 6.9 trillion rupiah. The budget will be used for the Jabodetabek Light Rail Transit Project, whose budget has swelled by 2.6 trillion rupiah, as well as the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed train project to meet the need for base equity of 4.3 trillion rupiah.
Untuk kereta api yang mendapatkan dari PMN SAL 20,1 triliun itu sebesar 6,9 triliun ditujukan untuk LRT Jabodetabek yang mengalami cost overrun sebesar 2,6 triliun, dan untuk kereta cepat Jakarta-Bandung kebutuhan untuk memenuhi base ekuitas sebesar 4,3 triliun.
Sri Mulyani hopes that the injections of funds to PT Kereta Api Indonesia can be used to complete the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed train project and have an economic impact on the community. From Jakarta, Rizka Ayu for IDX Channel.
Bio Farma will receive 326.8 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine by the end of the year. This number is an increase of 91.9 million doses from the realization that has been received by the company at this time, as many as 234.9 million doses. President Director of Bio Farma, Honesty Bashir, explained that the COVID-19 vaccine that will be received is purely the result of collaboration between Bio Farma and of a number of producers. This means that the vaccine received is not a grant from a number of institutions and countries to Indonesia. Meanwhile, if it includes grants and others, Bio Farma estimates that the number of vaccines will reach 111 million doses by the end of the year. Meanwhile, he ensured that the company would continue to increase the number of distributions in order to achieve the government's vaccination target.
Di targetnya nanti sampai akhir tahun yang sudah akan menjadi penugasan ke kami, total itu ada sekitar 326,8 juta dosis Ya, kita masih ada beberapa vaksin yang akan segera masuk di bulan November dan bulan Desember ini untuk bisa memenuhi semua kebutuhan. Ini dengan catatan adalah vaksin-vaksin yang di luar hibah ataupun sifatnya donasi. Jadi langsung adalah supply agreement antara Bio Farma dengan pengembang vaksin. Total sampai November, 4 November kemarin, distribusi vaksin yang sudah kita lakukan ke seluruh provinsi di Indonesia itu sebesar 233,4 juta dosis.
The government ensures that economic recovery efforts will encourage employment. Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Erlangga Hartarto, explained that the recovery in the business sector helped reduce unemployment.
The economic recovery continues to contribute to job creation. The coordinating minister for the economy explained that controlling COVID-19 in the third quarter had boosted economic recovery through the recovery of the business sector, especially labor-intensive industries. In turn, the increased economic recovery has stimulated the business sector and created job opportunities. Coordinating Minister for the Economy Erlangga Hartarto explained that the economic recovery has also boosted mobility, so that the informal sector is also moving in the midst of the recovery process.
Sehingga tentu kalau kita lihat di kuartal keempat, harapannya dengan adanya PMI yang ekspansif, maka kepercayaan konsumen juga kelihatan sudah naik di 95,3. Dan kita juga melihat bahwa sudah terjadi rehire, di mana tingkat pengangguran turun dari 9,7 menjadi 9,1 di tahun 2021 ini.
Based on BPS data, the unemployment rate in August 2021 was lower than last August. The open unemployment rate in August 2021 reached 6.49%, or 9.1 million people, or down from August 2020, which reached 7.07%. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
Health Ministry's Planning and Budget Bureau head Bayu Teja Mulyawan revealed that the ministry has allocated 394.5 billion rupiah for priority activities aimed at building health device and pharmacy sufficiency in 2022. The government has allocated 85 billion rupiah for designing domestic health device production regulations and fulfilling the need for 10 most demanded health devices based on value and volume through domestic production. The budget will also be used to conduct research and clinical trials for domestic health devices and monitor the quality of domestic health devices. Meanwhile, the ministry has allocated 162 billion rupiah for the production of domestic medical or medicinal raw materials, medicines and traditional medicines. The budget will also be used to fulfill the need for 10 most demanded medicine molecules through domestic production, meet the requirement of 40 essentials medicines, conduct research and clinical trials, and produce phytopharmaca. The ministry has also set aside 14.5 billion rupiah to formulate domestic vaccine regulations. Stay with us because Market Headlines will be right back after the break.
Kalau mau belanja tunggu tanggal cantik dulu. Betul, nggak cuma nomor doang yang cantik. Iya. Tanggal juga harus cantik. Pacar cantik, nomor cantik, tanggal cantik. Ini juga jadi paspor digital dengan menampilkan sertifikat vaksin COVID. Jadi itu nggak usah repot-repot ram. Sebagai syarat untuk mengakses fasilitas publik seperti pusat perbelanjaan, transportasi umum, rumah mertua. Waduh. Saya lihat dari sektor UMKM nampaknya sudah mulai terasa itu, Pak.
Ya, kalau kita lihat dari indikator kredit ya untuk UMKM, ini memang sudah menunjukkan bahwa ekonomi UMKM mulai menggeliat.
Inspirasinya dari mana? bisa yakin gitu untuk kita membentuk home care 24.
Karena satu panggilan jiwa ya, di Indonesia belum ada menggeluti dunia bisnis health tech.
Jangan cuma ngelihat langit, tapi juga ingat bahwa kaki kita tuh masih di tanah gitu. Jangan cuma lihat cuan, tapi ingat masih ada risiko kerugian.
Apa yang bisa pelajari dari rugi? Karena kan pasti ada momen di mana seorang investor itu dia rugi, portofolionya itu merah.
Nomor satu banget yang paling penting disadari oleh pemula yaitu manajemen resiko. Investasi itu bukan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan hidup, harus tetap kerja. Trading untuk membantu kita mencapai tujuan hidup.
Jadi PT Paragon itu kan memang masih sebuah private company gitu.
Tetap ada responsibility, saya setuju tadi.
Mendevelop tim, ya kan, what can I help you, empower gitu kan, gimana supaya prosesnya lebih efektif.
Lebih bisa berkembang lagi, punya.
For the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index Untitled movement earlier today, JCI was opened at the level 6,660.39. Then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level 6,658.88. And the index was showing a strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,683.15. In short, JCI went up 0.2%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got industry as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 1.42%. Technology went up 0.71%, and non-cyclical went down 0.54%, and property went down 0.49%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. ASII went up 5.56% to the level of 6,175 rupiah per share. Bank Mandiri went up 4% to the level of 7,150 rupiah per share. Buka went up 6.38% to the level of 750 rupiah per share. TBIG went up 3.94% to the level of 2,900 per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got BBCA went down 0.33% to the level of 7,650 rupiah per share. Arto went down 1.79% to the level of 16,425 rupiah per share, and Care went down 0.95% to the level of 520 rupiah per share. Telkom went down 0.27% to the level of 3,700 rupiah per share. And this is the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,260. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar, was closed at the level of 14,219. In summary, rupiah went up 0.14%. Supported by soaring export sales, Integra Indo Cabinet managed to record a positive performance throughout January to September 2021.
Supported by soaring sales, Integra Indo Cabinet managed to record a brilliant performance throughout January to September 2021. The financial report shows the company recorded net sales of 3.52 trillion rupiah in the third quarter of this year. These sales jumped 89.61% compared to the same period last year of 1.85 trillion rupiah. The increase in the company's sales was driven by improved export performance. Until the third quarter of 2021, the company's exports in the building component sector grew 169% to 2.08 trillion rupiah. In addition, the company's set-up export sales also rose 35.88% to 617.7 billion rupiah. The company's knockdown export sales segment also rose 91.35%. In contrast to the company's export sales, the company's domestic sales recorded a correction in all segments. Sales of the company's building components fell 24.5% to 63.6 billion rupiah. IDX Channel reports.
Until the third quarter of 2021, El Nusa was only able to record a net profit of 37.56 billion rupiah, or much lower than net profit in the same period in 2020.
During the first 9 months of this year, Al-Nusa was only able to record a net profit of 37.56 billion rupiah compared than 187.02 billion rupiah in the same period in 2020. This corrected profit was mainly due to a decrease in revenue and an increase in income expenses. Based on the financial report for the third quarter of 2021, Al-Nusa's total revenue was recorded at 5.72 trillion rupiah, or lower than the same period in 2020 of 5.76 trillion rupiah. In the midst of this decline in revenue, Elsa's total cost of revenue for the first 9 months of 2021 actually increased to 5.3 trillion rupiah from 5.15 trillion rupiah in the third quarter of 2020. Thus, the company's gross profit in the third quarter of this year decreased to 419.93 billion rupiah from 914.48 billion rupiah in the same period in 2020. IDX Channel reports.
During the first 9 months of 2021, Alam Sutera Realty was able to record revenue of 1.77 trillion rupiah, or much higher than the same period in 2020 of 1.1 trillion rupiah. Thus, the company's net loss in the third quarter of 2021 decreased to 138.95 billion rupiah. Based on the financial report, Alam Sutera's revenue growth during the first 9 months of this year became the main support that suppressed the company's net loss. In line with the increase in total revenue during the first 9 months of this year, the total cost of revenue increased to 855.22 billion rupiah. Meanwhile, as of September 2021, total liabilities increased to 12.46 trillion rupiah from the position as of December 2020, which was 11.84 trillion. And for the total equity at the end of the third quarter was recorded to have decreased to 9.24 trillion rupiah. And step aside for market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market lines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business and capital market channel. To prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission by 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So let's wear a mask and get vaccinated, because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. Wicky Adrian, have a nice evening and stay safe.